Good evening, here are tonight's top stories. A fitness walk in honor of boxer Michael Paris is set for August 11th. The trial of the 2020 elections fraud accused faces further delays. Bangladesh's prime minister has resigned and left the country, confirmed by the army chief. Businessman Glenn Lal criticizes Vice President Barrett Jago for a lack of transparency in the oil and gas sector. A 35-year-old Trinidad pharmacist has died from dengue. The Prime Minister of St Lucia declares plans for a national holiday to honor Julian Alfred's Olympic victory. Tripled road fines are set to be implemented to curb road accidents. Stay tuned for the details of these stories. Please remember to like, share and subscribe to our channel for more news.
Fitness walk in honor of boxer Michael Paris set for August 11th. Guyana Chronicle, in celebration of the remarkable achievements of Michael Anthony Paris, the only boxer from the English-speaking Caribbean to win an Olympic medal and the sole Guyanese to do so, a commemorative fitness walk will take place on Sunday, August 11th. Michael Paris, now 66, made history over 4 decades ago when he stood proudly on the medal podium in Moscow, hearing Guyana's national anthem played after winning the bronze medal on August 6, 1980. This year marks the 44th anniversary of that monumental achievement. The fitness walk will start at 7:30 HRS from the Bank of Guyana on Avenue of the Republic and proceed to the Seawall Bandstand. Paris, still very active, is expected to join what is anticipated to be a large contingent of participants in this event. Preparations for the fitness walk are progressing smoothly, according to the organizers, who are primarily members of the Paris family. With just a week to go, sponsors have committed to providing water and energy drinks for the participants. The Director of Sports and President of the Guyana Boxing Association, GBA, Steve Neen-Valle, has also pledged support from the National Sports Commission, NSC. Paris' daughter shared that a close family friend has volunteered to assist with marketing and promotion for the event, ensuring widespread awareness and participation. Join us in honoring Michael Paris and celebrating this significant milestone in Guyana's sporting history. Your participation in the fitness walk will contribute to the recognition of Paris' extraordinary accomplishments and inspire future generations of athletes. Triple road fines to be implemented to curb road accidents. In response to the alarming increase in road accidents and fatalities, Minister of Home Affairs, Robeson Ben, announced that the authorities are considering a significant increase in traffic fines. Speaking at the launch of the Road Safety Stakeholders Forum 2024 and Road Safety Campaign last Friday, Minister Ben emphasized the need for stricter penalties to curb reckless behavior on the roads. It is my view now that we will not get a better hold of this situation if people are not made to feel the appropriate sanctions for reckless misbehavior, dangerous misbehavior, Ben stated. It is my view that we should increase the traffic fine by 3 times. Minister Ben highlighted that a significant proportion of these accidents involve younger males and are often linked to alcohol consumption and speeding. Notably, many of these incidents occur between Friday and Sunday during evening hours. Persons speed because they think they could get away with it. Persons speed perhaps because they know if though they are charged, they will not appear in court or pay the fine. Some persons say they speed because they know they can bribe the police on the road, Ben explained. It is my intention to put in place the requisite technology and tracking of cases at the courts, in collaboration with the Guyana Police Force, to ensure that those people must pay the requisite fines and sanctions. Commissioner of Police, AG, Clifton Hicken, also addressing the forum, acknowledged the ongoing efforts but stressed the need for increased focus on road safety. There are so many ways accidents can occur, but it is for us to ensure that we be responsible in whatever we do, Hicken said. Guyana is currently aligned with the United Nations' second decade of action for road safety 2021 to 2030, aiming to reduce traffic deaths and injuries by 50% by 2030. Contact. Businessman Glenn Lal criticizes Vice President Barrett Jago for lack of transparency in oil and gas sector. Businessman and civil society advocate Glenn Lal has voiced strong criticism against Vice President Barrett Jago, accusing him of repetitive weekly press conferences and failing to address crucial issues within the oil and gas sector, among other national concerns. During his weekly radio program last week, Lal expressed his frustration with Jago's press conferences, stating, "Last week, he had a 2-hour press conference. I didn't play it because it's the same dal on the fire. He just keeps tying it, stirring and stirring." Lal highlighted that the VP's weekly discussions consistently revolve around topics like 12 new hospitals, Rickford Burke, Kaider News, letter writers, columnists, roads, schools, Nigel Hughes, the media, opposition never got a plan, bridges, PNC, but neglect key issues such as oil and gold. Lal accused Jagdeo, the chief policymaker of the oil and gas sector, of evading questions on these critical topics. He pointed out Jagdeo's reluctance to disclose documents related to the gas-to-shore project, despite repeated inquiries from both Kaider News and the opposition. Every week, Kaider News asks Barrett Jagdeo when he will make the project documents public or lay them in Parliament. He sends reporters to Gail Teixeira, who says she knows nothing about it. He sends them to Vikram Barrett, who also has nothing to say, Lal stated, alleging that Jagdeo is hiding the documents because of the gangsterism wrapped up in that $3 billion project. Lal, who is also the publisher of Kaider News, criticized the escalating costs of the gas-to-shore project and questioned its feasibility. No feasibility study, no press conference on the subject matter. The price doubled, and it is still feasible? Jagdeo pulled that feasible out of thin air. That's another white elephant that will hang Guyanese for the so-called cheap electricity, he said. Furthermore, Lal highlighted Jagdeo's failure to update the public on the current state of the country's oil reserves. For the past 2 years, Kaider News has been requesting this information. Lal recounted Jagdeo's inconsistent responses regarding the estimated oil discoveries. First, he told the nation the discoveries were substantial but not significant. Then he said ExxonMobil is busy making money and doesn't have time to count how much oil they found. Finally, he said counting is a long process, Lal explained. Lal noted that it wasn't until international analytics company S&P Global estimated the country's reserves at almost 19 billion barrels that Jagdeo promised an update. When Kaider News published that story and Jagdeo had nowhere to run or hide, he promised to update us within a week. A week has come and gone, and we are still waiting for him to release the figures, telling us how much oil Exxon has found to date, Lal concluded. Trinidad pharmacist, 35, dies from dengue. Rakesh Daryl Nanlal, a 35-year-old pharmacist at the Eric Williams Medical Science Complex, EWMSC, in MT Hope, tragically passed away from dengue fever, just 1 day after being diagnosed with a deadly viral disease. Nanlal, who resided in Praisal, was admitted to the very hospital where he worked after experiencing worsening symptoms last Wednesday. Despite initially feeling some relief after being treated with intravenous drips and discharging himself, his condition rapidly deteriorated. By Thursday, Nanlal began to bleed and was rushed back to the facility, where he eventually succumbed to the disease. An autopsy performed on Friday confirmed dengue as the cause of death, making Nanlal the country's 5th confirmed dengue fatality this year, according to the Ministry of Health. Nanlal, who lived with his wife of 6 years, Devi Ramdan, was mourned by family, friends, co-workers, and neighbors during a funeral service at his family's home in Nanan Trace, Praisal. Overcome with grief, Ramdan was supported by relatives as she performed the final Hindu rituals. Educated at St. Mary's College and a graduate of the University of the West Indies with a bachelor's degree in pharmacy, Nanlal was remembered for his brilliance and his ability to bring light to those in need. Colleagues from the North Central Regional Health Authority, NCRHA, Pharmacy Department paid heartfelt tributes to Nanlal, describing him as a joyful and helpful presence in the workplace. I just want to say that I know Rakesh as one of the most helpful and kind people in the pharmacy. He had a way of speaking that would bring joy to the workplace. It is such a surprise that he went this way. I will really miss him, said one co-worker. Another colleague added, I was so devastated when I heard Rakesh passed. One cannot comprehend the loss of a husband, brother, and co-worker. He would be a tremendous loss to the North Central region because he brought joy, friendship, and unity. From the staff of NCRHA and the pharmacy, please accept our condolences. Economist Dr. Valmiki Arjun, Nanlal's cousin, spoke of his ambition and brilliance, describing his passing as a devastating blow to the family. He touched a lot of lives. This is the legacy he has left in this short space of time. He accomplished so much, Arjun said. Nanlal's best friend, Anastasia Lalchan, eulogized him as a beacon of caring and compassion. Today I ask you all not to say goodbye to him but live in his light, be kind, be loyal, be a friend, be someone's reason to smile. May his family and friends and all those who knew him be comforted in knowing that he touched so many lives in his short time on earth, Lalchan said. He protected everyone and never worried. He was supportive in every way possible, Even if he disapproved at times, he would lend a shoulder to cry on and give a hand to those in need. He was fun-loving and a hard worker. He was the life of the party, always up for the boys' lime and a cousin's lime, she added. The passing of Rakesh Daryl Nanlal is a profound loss to his family, friends, and the community he served with dedication and kindness. Prime Minister of St Lucia declares plans of national holiday in honor of Julian Alfred's Olympic victory. Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre has announced plans to declare a national holiday in celebration of Julian Alfred's historic gold medal win in the women's 100-meter at the Olympic Games in Paris on Saturday. This announcement was made during a Sportsmax interview when the Prime Minister was asked about the possibility of a national holiday. "Everybody is asking me that. All I can say to them is there will be a holiday," stated the Prime Minister, though he did not provide further details at the time. On the day of the event, Prime Minister Pierre was among the ecstatic crowd in Castries, who watched on a big screen as Alfred sprinted to victory with a national record time of 10.72 seconds on the purple tracks of the Stade de France. Reflecting the national pride, Pierre remarked to reporters, "We should call today Julian Alfred Day," hinting that he might have declared a holiday if it had not fallen on a Saturday. During the Sportsmax interview, the Prime Minister commended the 23-year-old athlete from Cicerone in Castries, highlighting her as a role model for the youth of St. Lucia and the wider Caribbean. He praised Julian Alfred's discipline and dedication, emphasizing that her achievements serve as an inspiration. "While we rejoice, I want to send out a message to all the young people in the entire region, because whereas St. Lucia won, the Caribbean won, CARICOM won. So I want to send out a message to the young people in the entire region," Pierre said. "Right now, we have some issues. We need our young people to understand that with discipline, with commitment, with the necessary sacrifice plus some support, you can make it to the top," the Prime Minister declared. Bangladesh Prime Minister resigns and leaves country, Army Chief confirms. The Guardian, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has resigned and left the country, confirmed by Army Chief General Waqar Uzizamon amidst unprecedented violence since Bangladesh's independence over 50 years ago. In a press briefing, General Zaman announced his assumption of control during this critical time for our country, and outlined plans to establish an interim government. "I am taking responsibility now and will go to the President to request the formation of an interim government," he stated. Sheikh Hasina, 76, who has governed Bangladesh since 2009, reportedly departed by helicopter following the storming of her palace in Dhaka by protesters. Celebrations erupted in the capital as news of her departure spread. The internet was cut overnight, and reports of raids and gunfire, even in affluent areas, preceded a mass protest planned for Monday. Hasina's government faced accusations from rights groups of misusing state institutions to maintain power and suppress dissent, leading to numerous opposition activists' deaths. The recent wave of student-led protests began over a controversial quota system for government jobs favoring descendants of freedom fighters from the 1971 Independence War. Despite the Supreme Court overturning the quota law, the government's crackdown resulted in hundreds of deaths, with Agence France-Presse reporting 94 fatalities on Sunday alone. The anti-government movement has garnered widespread support, including actors, musicians, and ordinary citizens in the country of approximately 170 million people. General Zaman promised an investigation into the deaths during his briefing at Army headquarters. Despite a curfew and the closure of offices and factories, jubilant demonstrators continued to fill the streets of Dhaka. TV channels showed scenes of dancing and chanting crowds across the city. One protester shared a video with The Guardian, expressing the elation and emotional outpouring among the demonstrators. However, the celebrations have sometimes turned unruly, with thousands looting the Prime Minister's residence and vandalizing properties, including setting fire to at least one Awami League office. A statue of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, Hasina's father and the founding leader of Bangladesh, was also attacked and destroyed by a mob. Badial Alam Majumdar, founder of Citizens for Good Governance, described the protesters as heroes and heroines, while also voicing concerns about potential instability amidst the ongoing chaos. The army has announced the temporary closure of Dhaka Airport. Sheikh Hasina is Bangladesh's longest-serving leader, having first served as Prime Minister from 1996 to 2001 before her current tenure, which began in 2009. Her political opponents have accused her of autocratic tendencies and posing a threat to democracy. In 1975, Hasina's father was assassinated during an army coup, along with most of his family, except for his two daughters, Hasina and Sheikh Rehana. Regional media reported that both sisters have now fled to India, with thousands tracking a Hercules military plane believed to be carrying them. Trial of 2020 elections fraud accused faces further delays. The timeline for concluding the trial of 9 individuals accused of involvement in the 2020 elections fraud may face further adjustments as Senior Magistrate Laron Daly was absent from court today due to illness, a source confirmed. The prosecution, led by Darshan Ramdhani, KC, has expressed frustration over the delays caused by repeated objections from defense attorneys. To date, only 2 prosecution witnesses have taken the stand. Ms. Sonia Parag, an election official for the then-opposition People's Progressive Party/Civic, and Rosalinda Rasool, an election observer at the time. On Wednesday, Ramdhani raised concerns with Magistrate Daly regarding the exclusion of key witness evidence due to defense objections. A notable issue arose when Parag's testimony identified an individual associated with the APNU plus AFC, who was not named in the ongoing proceedings. Initially, Magistrate Daly allowed Parag to name the individual, but reconsidered following Ramdhani's arguments on the implications of the ruling. Ramdhani emphasized the importance of allowing witnesses to provide comprehensive accounts, including identifying individuals and contextualizing their statements, to fully understand the alleged electoral fraud. He also highlighted discrepancies between court recordings and the magistrate's notes, requesting permission to review the recordings to address these omissions. The special prosecutor remains concerned about the defense's tactics, which he described as strange and obstructive, potentially aimed at manipulating the trial timeline and gaining media attention. Defense attorney Jussi Anderson has made several requests, including for the original statements of poll, SOPs, additional security measures for the defendants, and a visit to the former Guyana Elections Commission, GECOM's command center. Despite meeting with the magistrate in chambers to discuss procedural issues, no immediate resolution was reached. The court acknowledged the prosecution's concerns and adjourned the trial to today's date. However, it remains unclear when the trial will resume. The accused include PNC/R activist Carol Smith-Joseph, former Health Minister Volda Lawrence, former Chief Elections Officer, CEO, at GECOM Keith Lowenfield, former Deputy CEO Roxanne Myers, former District 4 Returning Officer Claremont Mingo, and GECOM employees Sheffern February, Enrique Levon, Denise Babb Cummings, and Michelle Miller.